Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and start again. Thanks for joining us today. I just got one topic I need to cover, and I'm going to hand it over to Mark Church, and then we'll, as usual, open it up for Q&A. As we all know, the RTO companies do not allow delivery fees and or anchors added to their RTO contracts. So in the past, you guys would go through the RTO order, and then you would need to add on the documents page, continue on, and create, and it would automatically create an extra miscellaneous order for those delivery fees for those anchors. So we've actually simplified that for you. We've automated that process. So when you're going through an order and then you select RTO, you're going to get a little warning message, and it will tell you that you have delivery fees or you have anchors associated with this order, and that the customer will need to pay for that outside of the RTO contract. So if it's anchors, it's $195 and some tax. Delivery fees can be all over the place. But basically that's all going to be, so when you select the RTO, you're going to get that warning. So that's going to be a reminder to you to talk to your customer that, hey, this is going to be paid out of pocket. And then once you get to the end of that order, that RTO order, it's automatically going to create a extra miscellaneous order and link it to that order, so that if the customer didn't pay right then and there, the driver will know that they owe money, et cetera, et cetera. So that's all being automated. When you get to the documents page, when you get to the last page, there's a button there that will take you directly to the payment page of that extra miscellaneous order. So if you finish the RTO order and the customer wants, say there's a $100 delivery fee and $195 anchors, that customer wants to go ahead and pay for that at the point of sale. When you're on the documents page, on the receipt page, there's a big old green button that you click on, and that will take you to the payment page for that extra miscellaneous order. There's two windows now on that documents page. One is going to be the to build or offload order. One's going to be the extra miscellaneous order. So that documents page will change. If you'll see both of those invoices now. You'll see that big button that says pay for this now. So the most important thing here is that it's automated. It's going to link them. The customer will be responsible for that money outside of the RTO contract. So it's very important that you talk to that customer during the point of sale, so that we have a happy customer throughout the entire process. We're going to be creating a PDF and sending that out with visuals today. So be looking for that. And if you got any questions after Mark Church, we can have Q&A. That's all I need to cover. I'm going to hand it over to Mark Church, and then we'll do Q&A.
Hey guys, this is Mark Church. Super excited about this week. Super excited about the dealer meetings that we're going to be having over the next 2 days. Real quick, just three things, and we're going to jump off this call. First off, make sure that you have the agenda for the dealer meetings that are taking place the 23rd and 24th. We're splitting this up kind of half and half. One day there'll be half the dealers, the other day there'll be the other half. Make sure you have the agenda. If you have any questions about directions or addresses or anything of that nature, you need to reach out to your DM, Nathan Miller. The game plan is to meet at Vinyl Structures around 9:15. We'll review the manufacturing of a LuxGuard building so you can understand the process better. Then we'll drive about 25 minutes to the restaurant where we'll have our meeting, feed you guys some lunch, and review the new dealer agreement. So super excited to see everybody. Super excited to get everybody together. So make sure if you have any questions about that, give Nathan a call. Two things I want to talk to us about today real quick, and it's really focused on on the sales cycle piece of it. As we continue to move forward to the importance of social media, okay, and I'm going to continue, this is something I'm going to continue to harp on, and I'm actually going to do a podcast again on this today, and that is the understanding of points of contact. And we've talked about this multiple times we've talked about this multiple times. I don't even know how many times we've talked about it. This is something that we've researched in detail. Okay, I've spent some time talking to some people about it, researching it, doing some different things. Some dealers on this call are currently, whether it's Facebook advertising, Boost ads, or Google ads, are currently getting their own leads. Okay, they're investing their own money, time, getting their own leads. Some dealers on this call have entered into the new program of Sheds Direct, and that is where you provide us with a certain amount of money. Maybe it's $50 a month, $200 a month, $300 a month, whatever it is, and we do our content that we believe is really viable content, get you leads. One of the things I want to talk to you about is no matter who's doing it for you or how you're doing it, it's extremely important that you understand the amount of contacts that it takes to close the sales like this, okay? Sometimes you call, first time somebody answers the phone, yes, I've been waiting for your phone call. Let's do it. I'll be there today at 1 o'clock, okay? Sometimes it takes time for whatever reason. We recently had a situation over the weekend where it was a building in one of our territories in Indiana that we did not that we had a dealer in that currently is kind of utilizing one of our programs, and they told us that on the 8th try, the customer finally picked up and bought the building. Okay. It's extremely important that you understand that this is not these leads that you're gathering on social media, these leads that you're gathering on Facebook Marketplace. This is not a, hey, I picked up the phone and called them one time and didn't close the sale, I'm moving on. No, you've got to call, you've got to text, you've got to email, you've got to follow up again, you've got to retext, and 8 to 10 points of contact. If it was my money and I was investing it in leads, I want to be real clear. I would, at the minimum, I will be looking at 10 points of contact. This is something that we've studied. This is not Mark Church and Jason Saul coming up with some number, fly-by-night number that we've thought of. This is something that has been studied in the sales field. We've read reports on this. We've got some information from our sales training on it. And it's extremely important that you understand that it takes, in many cases, 8 to 10 points of contact. I cannot even begin to tell you how many stories I've talked to dealers on that have talked about this process, how very rarely, I mean, not saying very rarely, but probably 50-50 do they answer on the first time. It takes many a times via text, via email, via phone call. And this is the example of building our pipeline or building your pipeline that we talk about. You can't depend on each day to come to your lot and only depend on the people that are going to walk on that lot that day to buy buildings if you want to be successful. Now, you can do that. And, I'm not saying you can't sell buildings that way, but I do believe that you're not going to sell very many buildings that way. You have to build your pipeline, and you can't build your pipeline on one point of contact via phone call or via somebody walking on the lot. You have to build your pipeline with 8 to 10 points of contact via phone call, via text, via email, once you get those emails, putting all those emails into a monthly email notification that goes out. Okay. So you're constantly reaching out. We have talked about this multiple times, but once again, just as you reach out to 8 to 10 points of contact, it's my job to communicate this 8 to 10 times to the dealers. Okay, so they understand this process. So I want you to understand as we get into this, it's extremely important that you understand the process. Here's an example. Had a phone call the other day come in. An individual from my church wanted a building. They said, "Hey, give me a call." I called them. They didn't answer. I text them. They didn't text me back. And you know what I thought? Okay, well, they'll call me later whenever they're ready. That was incorrect on my part. That was a mistake on my part. As I'm having this conversation, I need to pick back up the phone call and call them again and say, "Hey, are you ready to buy that building? When can we meet? When can I arrange you to come to the Granite Falls lot and talk to you about it?" Like, hands down, 8 to 10 points of contact. I cannot even begin to talk to you about how important this is. If we talk about in the chain of important items, I would dare say that 8 to 10 points of contact is one of the top 3. Mastering social media probably is number 1. Understanding the sales process and asking for the sales probably in there. But I would dare say that mastering social media and 8 to 10 points of contact is extremely important. And this is something I'm going to be harping on. I'm going to be harping on this in the dealer meetings this week. I harped on this on the dealer meetings a couple weeks ago in Ohio. I'm going to be harping on this in podcasts. Like, I'm going to be harping on this all the time. Okay. So it's very important that as we continue to get in this, that you understand 8 to 10 points of contact for each lead you get, whether they come on the lot, whether they're social media, it does not matter. 8 to 10 points of contact needs to be your target. Okay. So this is something that's very important. This is very important to us, something we continue to be focused on as we continue to move forward into 2020. So on that note, if you have any questions about the miscellaneous orders for the RTOs, please reach out to us. You can, if we do have a situation where it's a $150 delivery fee and we find out that we really probably could only charge $100 for whatever reason, we can revise that number. Whatever we do to have to, have a win-win for the dealer and the customer. So we can do some of those things, but it's very, very important that you understand this process and that you don't have any questions concerning that. So on that note, it's 10:15, trying to keep these calls, especially North Carolina, with the dealer calls coming up tomorrow and the 24th. It's very important that you are there at those meetings. I know Nathan and Michelle have been sending out RSVPs. Nathan's been calling. If you have any questions about address, time, anything of that, reach out to Nathan. And so now we're going to turn it over to question and answer. So D, go ahead and turn it over.
Any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? All right, well, hey, if there's no questions, we really appreciate everybody's time. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you guys at the next dealer meeting here coming up soon. And everybody have a great day. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Thank you.